and respect personal choices, providing clarity on euthanasia practices and the nuances of end-of-life care. The court urged the necessity for a collective societal introspection on matters of morality, legality, and humanity divided by life and death decisions, prompting discussions that still echo in legal circles today. In conclusion, the case of common cause first Ors. Union of India not only transformed the dialogue surrounding the right to die, but also served as a beacon for advocating patient rights and humane treatment in healthcare. Its legacy continues to encourage dialogues aimed at finding the balance between legal frameworks and individual liberties, pushing society toward recognizing dignity, choice, and compassion as cornerstones of human existence. Did you know that the case of Common Cause vs. Union of India was a landmark judgment that significantly impacted the legal landscape in India, particularly regarding the rights of patients and end-of-life decisions? The case of Common Cause, a registered society, VD, Union of India and others, is a pioneering public interest litigation that sheds light on the importance of transparency in governance and the significance of the Right to Information Act. This case has far-reaching implications and has been instrumental in shaping the contours of public interest litigation in India. Common Cause, a non-governmental organization, filed this petition in the Supreme Court to seek directions to the Union of India and other respondents to disclose certain information regarding the assets and liabilities of politicians and elected representatives. This case is crucial in understanding the evolution of public interest litigation in India and its impact on promoting transparency and accountability in governance. The significance of this case lies in its contribution to the development of Indian law and its potential to bring about a paradigm shift in the way politicians and bureaucrats function in the country. It has been instrumental in promoting transparency and accountability, which are essential components of a healthy democracy. In the next section, we'll delve deeper into the background of this case and explore the societal issues it addressed, as well as the key players involved. The Common Cause case was filed in 2005, when a petition was submitted to the Supreme Court seeking directions to the Union of India and other respondents to disclose certain information about the assets and liabilities of politicians and elected representatives. This petition was a response to the growing concern among citizens about corruption and lack of transparency in governance. The petitioners argued that the disclosure of assets and liabilities of politicians and elected representatives was essential to ensure transparency in the electoral process and to prevent corruption. They contended that the Right to Information Act, which was enacted in 2005, empowered citizens to seek information about public authorities, including politicians and elected representatives. The petitioners also highlighted the importance of transparency in the electoral process, citing the need to ensure that politicians and elected representatives are accountable to the people. They argued that the disclosure of assets and liabilities would help prevent corruption and promote clean governance. The Union of India and other respondents opposed the petition, arguing that the disclosure of assets and liabilities of politicians and elected representatives was not mandatory under the Right to Information Act. They contended that such disclosure would infringe upon the privacy of individuals and could lead to harassment and misinformation. The Supreme Court, however, disagreed with the respondents' contention and ruled that the disclosure of assets and liabilities of politicians and elected representatives was essential to ensure transparency in the electoral process. In the subsequent section, we'll discuss the Supreme Court's decision and its implications for transparency in the electoral process and governance in India. The Supreme Court's decision in the Common Cause case was a landmark judgment that upheld the right of citizens to seek information about politicians and elected representatives. The court ruled that the disclosure of assets and liabilities of politicians and elected representatives was essential to ensure transparency in the electoral process and to prevent corruption. The court's decision was path-breaking, as it empowered citizens to seek information about public authorities, including politicians and elected representatives. This decision has far-reaching implications for promoting transparency and accountability in governance. The court's ruling also emphasized the importance of transparency in the electoral process, highlighting the need to ensure that politicians and elected representatives are accountable to the people. The decision has been instrumental in promoting